Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day to watch the video. Much appreciated. Got a runny nose right now. Been down mowing down at my mom and dad's house, getting everything cleaned up down there, and sort of got the sniffles a little bit. But today I'm going to start with an extensive. This is going to take a couple months probably to do this because I'm going to just stagger it out a little bit. I'm sort of putting together a complete guide to jerkbait fishing. A to Z. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of juice, everything you need to know about jerkbait fishing. I think a lot of you guys know that follow me that, that's the main thing I like to do. I help design the Mega Bass Vision 110. It's getting into jerkbait season. And I've got a lot to share on it. I've been fishing jerkbaits for 50 years. So I've got a lot to teach and to share with you guys. So that's what I'm going to do in this series. Before we get started here, just go over a couple of housekeeping tips too. Just want to remind you guys, if you guys are interested in becoming members of the channel, I'm offering memberships. It's a great way to support the channel. If you like what I'm doing here, you can just go on my YouTube homepage, click on the About section, and hit Intuitive Memberships. Gives you a couple different options there, extra videos every week, access to my personal email address for your fishing questions. And like I said, it's a great way to help out the channel if you're interested in doing that. And also, please subscribe, man. If you guys hadn't subscribed, half of you guys out there are watching these videos not subscribed. It's free and easy. And if I say something that rubs you wrong or hits a nerve, you can always unsubscribe. So, but I appreciate a subscription there. We got a really big giveaway coming up for 50,000 subs. We're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff from Mega Bass, Bridgeford, Solar Bat, Seaguar. Good deal there. Okay. Today what we're going to start out, this is going to be, like I said, there's going to be maybe 20 of these videos on jerkbaits. And today I'm going to sort of start out from the foundation and work up, as far as just the basic stuff that you need, even if you're a tour level angler. The stuff that I'm going to share with you guys right here, it doesn't matter if you just started jerkbait fishing or if you've won tournaments jerkbait fishing. I think there's something for a little bit. Today's topic is rod. The foundation to begin with is you got to have the right rod for your jerkbait fishing. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, and I'll argue this point with anyone out there. You can come in the boat with me and I'll show you, because I show all my on the water lesson jerkbait people the same thing. The first thing that you need to do for 90%, I'm not going to say 100%, but for 90% of your jerkbait fishing is get rid of your bait casting rod and pick up a spinning rod. That's the number one thing that I'm going to teach here. The techniques that I'm going to teach in jerkbait fishing they revolve around spinning rods. A couple different things, guys. You probably heard me say this before if you watch some of the videos. That you can do things with a spinning rod, with a jerkbait, that you cannot do with a bait caster. You simply can't do it. And the things that I want to show you guys with it, first of all, let's talk about the action and the rhythm. The way that a spinning rod is set up, simply, it gives you better feel, it gives you better sensitivity, and it gives you better wrist position to actually impart action on the jerkbait. I don't care if you're jerking it hard or if you're barely twitching it or whatever. You have better feel on it. It's almost just like if you're throwing a drop shot or a Ned rig or whatever. A spinning rod, you simply have better feel with it than you do a bait casting rod. And you can make those subtle twitches that you can't make with the bait casting rod. It's almost like, wearing socks versus not wearing socks as far as feel goes. So that's the first thing about it. The second thing about it is you can cast 25% further with the spinning rod. And in wintertime or cold water jerkbait fishing, this is critical, because the key to getting the maximum depth out of your jerkbait, which is also the key to catching the bigger fish, is you have to make long casts, because your casting distance directly equates into the depth potential of your jerkbait. So you can, with a spinning rod, you're not affected by the wind like you are a bait caster. Even in a non-windy condition, I can outcast somebody at least 20 to 25 feet with a spinning outfit versus a bait caster. One of the things, like I said, well, my buddy Darren Martins that passed away, one of the deals we got into a contest one time up in Stockton Lake about who could cast farther with a jerkbait, spinning rod versus bait caster, and I showed Aaron that you could cast, I could beat him by 20 feet, which he couldn't believe it. Then he started, you know, believing the attributes of a spinning rod. So you can cast farther there. Next thing with it, as far as the advantage of a spinning rod, is the action of a spinning rod is more conducive to landing the fish and getting the right action on the bait, because I use a 6-foot 10-inch Megabass whip snake spinning rod, and this is it's a medium action spinning rod. It's got a medium soft tip on it, a fairly stiff butt section, which is very hard to duplicate in a bait caster. You know, the length and the action of that, and I found that length and that action that comes with that spinning rod just allows you to get more lifelike action on that bait, and it also allows you to fight that fish better once it comes in. So you know, it's not easy, it's not hard to do. I mean, I don't understand why a lot of guys have been taught to fish jerkbaits with a bait caster, because a bait caster is not a very efficient way to fish a jerkbait. I mean, you can argue with me and say, yeah, well, Hank Cherry's won 2 classics on a bait caster with a jerkbait, and you know, Van Dam and all these jerkbait gurus, they use bait casting rods. Well, my answer to that is, like, you know, if they were using spinning rods, they may even caught even more fish, because it's simply a better tool to fish a jerkbait with. Now, if you're fishing some type of a situation where you don't need the depth out of it, and you're fishing some type of a situation where you're around some type of heavy cover, you know, and you don't want the bait to go over 3 or 4 feet deep, that is some situation where I will use a bait caster. Another situation that I'll use a bait caster, that 10% of the time, is if I'm fishing an oversized jerkbait, like that Megabass Canada, which is a really big bait. But, you know, I'll use that bait on a bait caster. But I'll use even, you know, like the big Rogues or the Megabass 110 Magnums, or, you know, any of the larger sizes up to the Canada, even with a spinning rod like that. The next thing about a spinning rod that you can't do with the bait caster is go down to light line. In the wintertime, guys, I bet probably 75% of the time in my winter fishing, I'm throwing a jerkbait on 6-pound test line. And a 6-pound test line is next to impossible to throw on a bait caster. It's just, bait casters aren't meant to use 6-pound test line. Spinning rods are, and the advantage of using 6-pound test line over 8 or 10 is the fact that you can get the bait down several feet deeper. If you're fishing a Megabass Vision 110 in the boat with me, and you've got your standard bait cast rod set up with 10-pound test line, and I've got my spinning rod with 6-pound test line, I can promise you guys, I can get that Megabass 110 4 feet deeper than you can with a bait caster. And when you're dealing with clear water and cold water, that's a critical element, you know, in jerkbait fishing. So this is the first tip, the first guide to jerkbait fishing I want to give you guys. Get rid of your bait casters, guys. Put them away. You know, only use them if you're using those big oversized Magnum jerkbaits. Spinning rod, like I said, you're going to get better action out of the bait. You're going to get more realistic action. You're going to have better feel on it. You're going to cast farther. You can use lighter line. You can handle the fish better. Anything, I'll argue, anybody, you know, get whoever you think is the top jerkbait fisherman in the world, and you know, we'll have a debate on the thing. Now, also, you can say, well, okay, you know, if I want my jerkbait to go deeper, I'll use like a Megabass 110 plus 1 or 110 plus 2. That's fine, you can do that, but at times those baits don't have the same action as a smaller lip bait does. A Vision 110 by Megabass or Smithwick Rogue has a completely different action than the lipped models, like the Spoonbill Rebels or the Deep Running Rogues or the, you know, Megabass 110 plus 2. It looks completely different in the water. So from that standpoint, you've got several different things you're trying to achieve. Give it a try. Let me know what he says. You know, one of the things, the biggest piece of advice what I give you guys for November and December, get your spinning rods out, give it a try. Let me know how it goes. All you guys that have booked on the water lessons with me this winter for jerkbait fishing, you know, 95% of the people that go with me are converted over after a day's fishing with me. and it's just it's the foundation that we're going to begin this series with. It's going to help you catch more bass and get more bites on jerkbait. So anyway, we'll be back soon with the second installment of this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all later.